missed it. I was running late. I don't know why, because I haven't been anywhere today. Hi, guys. Don't you love my pink shirt? I was trying to bring some sunshine to you guys. Welcome to the Kelly Kitchen, where we've got a really quick dinner going tonight, and I apologize. I did not get my newsletter out kind of telling you what we were doing. So thanks for joining me with no notice of what we are working on tonight. We are going to make some lemon basil salmon. Super easy. We're going to make them in these little foil packets, so it's easy cleanup. And you can change up the spices or the seasonings if you don't want lemon basil. I'm also going to make some roasted Brussels sprouts that I'm going to add some crispy bacon to. I did that a little bit earlier today. It's a little hack that I have to get things started. Hi, Atsuko. And then I have a new recipe for my keto crunch bars, and they are chocolate and they are crunchy, and we use things like sunflower seeds and shredded coconut and roasted almonds. So those are super delicious. Let's get started. We've got a lot on tap, but we're going to go quick. This is going to go super fast. I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees, and I've got a big, huge pot of water here that I got started just so I can get that up to speed. It is going to start boiling here in a quick second. We are going to generously season the water. This is one of the keys to cooking your vegetables. Who joined me? Hi, Marie. How are you? I took a bunch of Brussels sprouts and I washed these first. And then what I do is I just slice them in half, but I keep the stem part there, so I keep it all together. And I just sliced them in half, and I washed them, and I got them all ready. So this is coming to a boil, and as soon as that comes to a boil, we're going to blanch these for like 2 minutes to get them a little bit tender before we toss them in our bacon grease. So I wanted to show you a super easy hack that I use to make bacon all the time, because I find that when I'm cooking bacon on my cooktop, and I actually line it here, but I scrunch it up. So it's almost like that ribbon candy. So I scrunch it up raw, and I put it in a 400-degree oven for like 15 minutes. And then I flip it, and I do it for maybe like another 10 minutes. And then I get my pound of bacon, easily made. And then it is easily clean up, easily contained. And I save that bacon grease because we're going to use that for something else. So I've got my water heavily salted. I'm just going to get my Brussels sprouts going, and we're going to do that for 2 minutes. Woo! Ooh, man down, lost a few. Sorry about that. We're going to get those going so that we can get those nice and soft for about 2 minutes and just get that softened. In the meantime, we are going to get our salmon ready. We're probably going to do this in a little bit of stages, but I just have, this is my Costco, oh, I hope I don't drop it. This is my Costco salmon. I just pulled it out of the freezer yesterday, and I let it thaw, and then I sort of pat it dry. Then I take 2 pieces, each one has 2 layers of tin foil, and I'm going to just lie my skin side down onto the tin foil, and get this out of the way. Put this out of the way. Our Brussels sprouts, let's see how they're doing. Oh, they're getting nice and green. Once those are done, we're going to drain them and just let them get a little bit dry before we pop them in the oven. In the meantime, I've got my salmon on there They're little packets. I don't know if you guys have ever tried making like a hobo dinner where you put like sausage and potatoes and stuff, and you wrap it in tin foil and put it over a campfire. Well, this is kind of a version of that. And you take fresh basil. You could use dry basil if you wanted to. And I'm going to take the whole thing, and I'm going to chop this up super fine. Oh, God, that basil smells so good. You guys know what I did this weekend? We had a little extra time on our hands, like everyone, and we planted a few herbs out in the garden. It's nice, and it's getting nicer and warmer here, so that is it's great to start getting outside. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my salmon. I'm going to season with salt, a little bit of pepper. I already have my lemon slices, but I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a second. I got some garlic powder. Please hold on the salmon. We are going to get the Brussels sprouts out of here because we don't want them to get mushy and soft. We just wanted to get them parboiled to get them started. And I've got this awesome strainer here, but you can just pour these out in the over the sink if you wanted to. Basically, we're just gonna pull those right out of there, and we're gonna let these dry so that they don't have any water in them when we put them in the oven. So let's just put that off to the side just for a second. So back to the salmon. So we've got salt, pepper, garlic powder. Then I'm going to take my basil and I'm just going to line the top of my salmon. Again, you can use dried basil if that is all you have on hand. I know that it's not necessarily in season, but nevertheless, this is what we're having for dinner tonight. The other thing I'm doing, I love to shop my fridge to use things that I know need to get used. And so I had a little leftover heirloom cherry tomatoes from the farmer's market that I went to last week. And by the way, I was at the Brentwood farmer's market and everybody was going crazy because they saw pictures of it being super crowded. We went and we wanted to be able to support our local growers and farmers. Now, I don't like to go to the supermarket in this time. I'm trying to use what I have in my fridge. So we're using some of our cherry tomatoes. I'm going to just put these right inside the, oh my God, this looks so beautiful. Right inside the packet. And then I'm going to squeeze a half of a lemon on each one. Oh my God, this smells absolutely divine. Then I am going to line, don't worry, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to show you what this looks like because it's so beauteous. I'm in love with it. So this is what our salmon looks like before it goes into the oven. Can you guys see that? I'm also going to put just a little pat of butter on each one. So what we're going to be doing here is it's kind of like a cross between steaming the salmon and poaching the salmon because there's some liquid in here in the actual packet. Then what we're going to do, check it out. We are going to wrap this up into these cute little packets. Right? This is so easy. Again, I told you we've already got our oven going at 400 degrees. And these are going to just steam away in the oven. Before I put these in, though, we're going to finish up our Brussels sprouts. So let's get this Brussels sprout thing. Let's get this out of the way. So I have my tray here. This is what I did the bacon in. And if you can tell, I have I have bacon grease all over here. This is from the bacon that I made. And I just left the bacon on here, and I am going to take my Brussels sprouts, and I'm just going to toss those right on top of the bacon grease. Let me grab a spoon here for a second. We're going to toss these in the bacon grease so they get a nice, oh God, I keep losing Brussels sprouts. Well, we have enough for dinner, don't worry. We're going to toss those in the bacon grease because we want them to brown also, but we want them to have the flavor of the bacon. Then, other thing we're going to do is we're going to generously season probably, a good teaspoon of coarse salt and some cracked pepper. Again, my oven, I think I've already said this like 12 times, but my oven is at, see if you guys can take a look. See how it's nice and glistening? I got those bright Brussels sprouts. So those are going in. Someone just asked how I was doing in quarantine. I tell you, I think things are going pretty well. I still have a job, which I'm very happy about. And if you don't know it, I work in property management. So we're sort of an essential. We help people with their places of business and with their homes. So we're doing the best that we can. And luckily, we can do a lot of it remotely. So that's how things are going. We've got a pretty nice setup here. I have my boyfriend here with me, and he is in the living room, and I'm in the other side of the house, and we're both on calls all day long. So we're hanging in there. It's not too bad, but we're doing lots of cooking. And honestly, we have not eaten out one time. We do want to support the local economy and the local restaurants, but I've been home so much that I've just been cooking this whole time. So I haven't really had to sort of worry about any sort of going out or anything. And my freezer is so packed with food. It's unbelievable. I've got, soups and pigs in a blanket and casseroles. So we are all set. I've been going on 5 to 7 mile walks every single day. I have a little treadmill that I go for jogs on, and my boyfriend has a bike on a treadmill too, or on a spinner or whatever. So we're hanging in there. But let's get started on my newest recipe. It's called Keto Chocolate Crunch Bars. And this is a no-bake recipe that you probably have 90% of the ingredients. If you do not do keto and you don't want to do low-carb stuff, you can substitute real maple syrup, and that is the only sort of specialty ingredient. This recipe calls for 1/4 cup of a low-carb sticky sweetener, and so this is a brand that I use. It's pretty low-carb. For 2 tablespoons, it is 1 gram net carb. So this is the maple syrup version, but I also use this low-carb sweetener. I don't know if you can see that. It's called allulose, and this is a honey flavor. But for this recipe, you can use either. I'm going to use this one today. But then everything else that's in the recipe is basically stuff that you would already have, which would be peanut butter, coconut oil. Oh, I lied. I do have one other specialty item. And if you are low carb, you probably have Lily's semi-sweet chocolate chips. Oh, the salmon. Somebody just asked how many minutes for the salmon. So I have it in there at 400, and we like it a little bit more done. So I'm going to do it for about 20 to 25 minutes. Thank you for reminding me. I have to set the timer. I get going so fast that I forget. So I'm going to put this for 20 minutes, and then it'll steam inside the little packet, which is really amazing. So if you are not low carb, and if you just want to make this regularly, you can use real maple syrup, and you can use real chocolate chips. So let's get started. This recipe calls for 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. I use low carb chocolate chips, 9 ounces. One package is 1.5 cups. So we're just gonna pop that in there. It also calls for 1 cup of peanut butter. I like to use Laura Scudder's peanut butter, and it's peanuts and salt. That's it. There's nothing else in it. And so I will do a cup of peanut butter. Sorry I didn't have this all measured out. You think with all the extra time on my hands, I would have it all ready for you guys. But nevertheless, this comes together very, very quickly. And this recipe will probably go up on the website maybe tonight or tomorrow. I already have some great pictures for it. That's one of the holdups most of the time in getting the recipes up on the website, is that I've got to get some pictures, some pretty pictures anyways. Okay, so we have 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. We've got 1 cup of peanut butter. Then we do 1/4 cup of coconut oil. If you see my coconut oil, it's hard, it's solid. At room temperature for me, it's solid. Or you can keep it in the fridge if you want. If you don't have coconut oil, you can use butter, which is, that's fine too. Where's my thing here? I'm going to do 1/4 cup of coconut oil. And the coconut oil is really nice because it helps solidify the bars after they cool and come together. So, okay, so I've got 1/4 cup of my coconut oil. I'm just going to give this a nice toss, and then I'm going to put this in the microwave for like 30 seconds to a minute, and I'm going to get this nice and melted. You guys are going to die at how quickly these come together. Super easy. Love my microwave. Put those in there. Okay, those are in there for 1 minute. I'm going to just put this away. I also wanted to note that you don't have to use almonds and sunflower seeds. I use those because I like the little tiny crunch of the sunflower seed. I think it kind of reminds me of like Rice Krispie treats. But if you wanted to use macadamia nuts, you can. Super expensive. If you wanted to use pecans, you could do that too. So yeah, you can use whatever you want. I just think that the combination of the coconut and the almonds, it kind of reminds me of like an Almond Joy. So I was never a fan of those when I was on Halloween, but I have come to love Almond Joys. The other thing about the nuts is that they must be roasted. I get mine some of the times from Trader Joe's, and this is a dry roasted unsalted. And I actually like them unsalted in this because you might add a little extra salt on top if you wanted to. But if you only have roasted and salted, then that's fine too. So I did the chocolate and peanut butter and coconut for 1 minute. I'm going to do it for 1 extra minute to get these nice and get the chips nice and melted in there. And while I'm doing that, I just wanted to show you, we're going to do let's see. There is a 1/2 cup of this. Where's my 1/2 cup? Here's my 1/2 cup. So we're going to add, after that's melted, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of a sticky sweetener. So if all you have is maple syrup, regular maple syrup, and you don't care about being low carb, which I don't know why you would do that, but if you wanted to, then you could use regular maple syrup. So that's going, our Brussels sprouts and our salmon, we're about 7 minutes in on the Brussels sprouts and the salmon. We're going to use unsweetened shredded coconut. You can use flake coconut. You can use any kind of coconut that you want. Hey, Conch, how are you? So good to see you. Oh, that is our stuff. So let's take a look. Oh, yes. Our peanut butter chocolate. Now, you have to know that this tastes a little bit like peanut butter, but it really takes on the taste of the chocolate. If you want to use almond butter or cashew butter or sunflower butter, you can use that too. Whatever you want. For me, I use peanut butter because it's less expensive. Almond butter is just so freaking expensive, and we love almond butter, but to use a whole cup of it is kind of a lot. So if you guys can see, I've got all my chocolate chips melted with the coconut oil and the peanut butter. Then I'm going to take my half a cup of my low carb sticky sweetener. I'm going to add that in there. Get a little bit closer so you guys can see me. So I've got everything mixed in there, and it's got a lovely sweet smell. Okay, in this this is my 8x8 tin that I have lined with parchment paper. Don't forget to do that. You really, really, really want to line it because that's really the only way to get it out of there. And I'm gonna take a cup of roasted sunflower seeds. I'm going to add those to my chocolate. And I'm going to take a cup of my shredded, unsweetened coconut. Did I say that right? Yes, I think I did. And I've got my shredded, unsweetened coconut. You can add more if you're kind of a coconut freak. Feel free to add more on top if you want. Just add some more carbs. Sorry. So that's that. Then I'm going to take I'm just going to wipe this knife off so I don't have any basil on it. I'm going to take a cup of my dry roasted unsalted almonds. And I'm going to chop these, but I'm not going to do a major chop because I like the nuts to be just a little bit bigger and fuller. It gives a nice, I don't know, like a good texture when you're taking a bite out of these keto crunch bars. And I'm going to put this whole cup right in there. I swear to God, anybody can do this. Hi, Lisa. My friend Lisa from Ridgefield, Connecticut was supposed to be in Hawaii, and I feel so bad for her, but she and her husband are making the best of it. I think they're laying out on beach chairs in the middle of their living room, which I think is absolutely hysterical, and having cocktails and Mai Tais and making the best of it. So if you guys can take a look, see how I'm mixing this all together. The kids can help with this. Super easy. I'm going to get everything coated with the chocolate. Again, you can add more coconut to the top if you want. And I think this time I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit. I'm going to get a, hold on, I have to try this. You guys, you have to make this. Who needs dinner and salmon? So good. Okay. I lost my spoon. I'm sorry. Please hold. Here we go. Okay. I have an 8x8 tin. I lined it with some parchment paper. I like to use a rubber spatula because I don't want to miss any in here. I don't want any to stay in the bowl. And because this is the magic of live television, you would be happy to know that I already have a whole other batch in my fridge right now that I am going to be able to show you. See, I got everything out of there. Then I'm going to very gently press all of this into my 8x8 cooking tin, my baking tin, although we are not baking. And it almost has like the consistency of like thick brownie batter. I'm just gonna press this all in to the corners. And this will go into the fridge or the freezer, whichever works for you. And we're gonna let this chill. And it'll chill up in probably about 30 minutes. On the safe side, I would definitely do it for like an hour and get that all the way in there. But the thing about this, when using the sunflower seeds, is that you have those little tiny seeds, and they almost are like, they almost give the texture of like Rice Krispies. And we know that Rice Krispies are not keto, they're made of rice, so they're higher carb, and we kind of try to stay away from that stuff. But here are my keto crunch bars. This is how the recipe is going to be written without the coconut on top. But hi, Lori, good to see you. I'm going to add a little coconut on top because actually, I think I might like it better this way with the coconut on top. I might have to take some new pictures. But I have some chocolate coconut freaks in my life that want everything covered in coconut. So this is kind of a nice way to go about it. We're going to just put coconut all over the top. And how beautiful is that? Right? So pretty. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, and guess what? I'm going to be your best friend right now because I'm somebody's best friend, somebody whose best friend is in this house who gets to eat these. I'm my own best friend right now because I get to have them, but check it out. Look at how awesome my keto crunch bars are. Big chunks of almonds with all my little sunflower seeds and right? So good. Yum. Okay. That one's mine for later. Don't tell anybody. I also wanted to let you guys know that I'm working on a vanilla cupcake. I almost have it perfected. Those chocolate crunch bars, they're so good. And the recipe is going to be up on the website, The Kelly Kitchen, hopefully tonight. I hope tonight. Maybe not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. So good. Okay, let me get this out of the way. We're going to chop up the bacon, and we're going to get our salmon and our almond, I'm sorry, not our almond, our salmon and our Brussels sprouts, here, these are the almonds, are on their way. We're going to toss them. You can continue to get them coated. And just remember, our salmon will continue to cook. So if our Brussels sprouts are done before our salmon, that's okay because the salmon will continue to cook inside. Oh, wait, I have to show you this. Oh, so amazing. Okay, we're just going to give these a quick toss. Check this out. It's already got a nice brown on it. Well, I can't show you right this second, but oh, look at this one. Right? Can you see? These look fantastic. So we're just going to give them a little toss. These are almost done. I'm doing this so fast that I keep losing them, and these are like precious little gems. We're going to just turn these over a little bit, get them completely covered in our bacon grease. Then we're going to put this back in. We have about 5 minutes left on that. In the meantime, I'm going to take, excuse me, I'm going to take our bacon. This was from my butcher box. I think I told you guys I am a huge believer in ButcherBox subscription meat service, and I just pulled out a pound of uncured, no sugar added bacon, and it thawed overnight, and then I just had it ready to go. So I saved some of the bacon for a salad tomorrow, but I was able to pull out, I don't know, there's maybe like a half a pound of bacon here. And I'm going to give this a really nice rough chop, because when our Brussels sprouts are done, we are going to toss them we're going to toss the Brussels sprouts with the crispy bacon. That's how you do it. So I used to do the bacon and the Brussels sprouts together, and the bacon would kind of be a little soggy and not, it just lost some of its oomph. And so I just decided to do them sort of separately. And then by coating the Brussels sprouts in the bacon grease, you give it the bacon flavor, and then you keep the crunch of the actual bacon. I just have to try this bacon. Yeah. Perfect bacon every time. I'm gonna just bear with me here. Our Brussels sprouts are gonna go in here. Our salmon packets, each one of us will get on our plate a salmon packet where you just open it up and you'll see like the tomatoes will be nice and roasted, and the salmon will be firm and pink, just the way I like it. I have a little bit of a mess here, but don't worry about that. It's all good. What else can I tell you guys about? I don't even know. Things are humming along here. We're getting lots of rain in Southern California. We're doing our best to stay put. We wear our masks when we're out. We go on these nice long walks. We do lots of cooking. We exercise at home. We stretch at home. And all the things that I never had time for, now I have time for. So we're hanging in there. You know, I think I've had a few people that have had a few meltdowns, and we have those too, but we're just trying to make the best of this whole quarantine situation, and I think everybody is. And luckily enough, I have a subscription. I'm big on this like monthly subscription thing, so I have a subscription for toilet paper. So I never had a whole frenzy at the supermarket with toilet paper, and I just had a case of toilet paper show up today. So if anybody needs a roll of toilet paper, let me know, because I'd love to share it with you if you are running out. Okay, guys, we have 1 minute left. Oh, thank you for asking. Someone just asked how my cookbook is coming along, and I have to say, super excited. I am working with a designer, and we are, I would say, about 30% done with the cookbook, and it's just as fast as I can get pictures taken, and I have everything written. It just needs to all get put together. So the cookbook is coming together super quickly, and it is a lot of work, and it is a labor of love, but it's coming along. And so the cookbook, I'm not sure of the title yet, so any sort of input, probably something like Healthy Keto in the Kelly Kitchen, or Real Food, Real Kitchen, something like that. But it's something in the Kelly Kitchen, and it'll be probably about 65 to 80 recipes. And if there's anything that you want to see in there, then let me know so we can get it in there. But lots of soups, main dishes, desserts, basics, my fathead dough, and my chaffles, and my muffins. I have a couple muffins that are just sort of like everyday things that you can have in your life that are lower carb. My cauliflower rice. Guess what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam! Yay. I just lost another Brussels sprout on the floor. Whoops. There are my Brussels sprouts. I'm going to pour those right in my casserole dish. Ow. And let me just get that one off the floor. Shh, don't tell anybody. We're going to sprinkle these with bacon. And we're going to give these a nice little toss. Oh my gosh. So delicious. Okay, so there are my roasted Brussels sprouts with crispy bacon. Love it. Put that off to the side. And then let's get our salmon. And we're going to take a look. Right? Why not? Okay, I have to be super careful because these are full of steam and I don't want to burn myself, but I want to be able to show you how beautiful. Let's hope they come out beautiful. Let's see. Let's see. Ow! I just burnt myself. Ow! Oh well. Okay. Oh my God, it smells like the basil and the lemon and the tomato. Oh. Ooh! Wow. I mean, this is impressive. Okay, I'm just going to open up one because I don't need to show you the other one. But look at my lemon, basil, salmon. So delicious. Okay, I'm going to close this up because Peter's not home yet, and I want to keep this nice and warm for him. And the tomatoes will continue to roast in there, and this is like perfectly done. If we don't eat all this, we'll have it for leftovers. For tomorrow, we could put it on top of a salad, and then we'll have our roasted Brussels sprouts. Hold on a second, I gotta try those. I'm gonna get a little one so I can, they're perfectly cooked. They're nice and tender. Wow. That is, quite frankly, I don't even need anything else because this roasted Brussels sprout. The other thing about Brussels sprouts is that they tend to stink up the entire house, but when you do them this way, when you parboil them first for just a few minutes, it's less time in the oven, less time of stinking up your house, and I quite frankly like the smell of them. So there's my, those are the best freaking Brussels sprouts I've ever had. Bacon and Brussels sprouts. It is a classic combination. Easy, easy, easy cleanup. You just take your thing like this, toss this into the trash, and you are all set. You guys, that was a super fast dinner from the Kelly Kitchen. We had our lemon basil salmon. We had our roasted Brussels sprouts with crispy bacon, and we had our keto chocolate crunch bars, which the recipe is going up on the website at thekellykitchen.com. Please feel free to share these videos and comment or ask any questions. I love helping and I love showing you, and it keeps me out of trouble to come and be here every Monday night, 6:15, either Facebook Live or YouTube Live. I'm still trying to get on to Instagram, and we're working on it. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me for food, health, and fun at the Kelly Kitchen, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.